Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're tackling your requests for simulation games on Steam.
Simulation games.
Yeah, those ones tagged with simulation specifically.
Right.
You guys sent in descriptions, user reviews, even some pretty intense forum discussions.
Oh, yeah.
And I suppose
And we've gone through it all.
it's a fascinating corner of gaming, isn't it?
It really is.
The sheer variety you can find just with that one tag.
Yeah, like, get this. We're talking about escaping into, like, a moody Eastern European night 1 minute,
Okay.
and then building crazy complex contraptions the next.
Wow.
Alchemist simulations, professional kart racing,
Ah,
you name it, we've got it.
a whole smorgasbord of simulated experiences.
Exactly. And we're highlighting 5 games in particular for this deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
First up is Neyasnoe.
Neyasnoe.
And this one is less about gameplay and more about just existing in a very particular atmosphere.
I could see that.
So picture this: gray skies, abandoned buildings, the pulsing rhythm of techno music.
Reviewers have been using terms like Doomer Simulator.
Really?
Some have even compared it to like a Russian adaptation of a Celine novel.
It's that evocative.
It seems to be Neyasnoe really leans into environmental storytelling, you see.
Okay.
So it's not about, completing quests or anything like that. It's about inhabiting this melancholic world. The abandoned buildings, the stark apartment blocks, even the sound design contributes to that feeling of urban loneliness.
What do you mean by the sound design?
Well, like the rustling of plastic bags in the wind, distant conversations in a language you may not understand,
Huh.
they all contribute to that feeling of urban loneliness.
So it's more about the journey than the destination with this one.
Precisely. You can wander around, chat with the strangers you encounter, maybe even hit the dance floor at a dimly lit nightclub.
Really?
It's about capturing those moments of quiet contemplation, those moments of being lost in the crowd.
Interesting. I can see how that would appeal to some players,
Right.
but maybe not for everyone.
Yeah, the reviews we saw were surprisingly polarized.
Really?
Some players found Neyasnoe to be a really moving and thought-provoking experience.
Okay.
Others called it boring and pointless.
Wow.
It seems to depend entirely on what you as a player are looking for in a game.
So even a game with simple mechanics can still be divisive.
That's true.
Speaking of mechanics, let's shift gears to GearBlocks.
Oh, GearBlocks. I've heard of this one.
This one's all about building and engineering.
This is the one that's being hailed as the mechanical engineer's factorio, right?
It's it.
So intricate systems, complex processes, a steep learning curve.
Yeah, you're not kidding about that learning curve. But for those who enjoy the challenge, GearBlocks lets you design and build all sorts of vehicles and contraptions,
Yeah.
and they use a realistic physics engine.
And the level of detail is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Gear ratios, engine torque, even material stress.
It's not just slapping parts together.
No, you really have to think about it.
You have to understand how they interact on a fundamental level.
Precisely.
We saw players building everything from simple cars to elaborate cranes.
Yeah. Cranes.
Wow. Even bucket loaders.
Really?
One reviewer even said they spent hours just perfecting the suspension on their virtual truck.
That's dedication.
It really is, but that speaks to the core appeal of this type of simulation, right?
Absolutely.
It's about mastering this complex system and then seeing your designs come to life.
Exactly. And for those who want to push those designs even further,
Oh, yeah.
GearBlocks has a built-in scripting system.
You mean the one that one reviewer called a way to disable limitations?
That's the one.
What is that?
Essentially, it lets you write custom code to manipulate the game's physics and mechanics.
Really?
So you can bend the rules of the game world itself.
Wow.
Want to build a car that defies gravity?
Okay.
A crane that operates with impossible precision?
Mm-hmm.
The scripting system gives you the tools to do it.
That's incredible. It's like stepping into the mind of an engineer.
It really is.
But you can bend the laws of physics.
Exactly. And speaking of bending reality, our next game takes us into the world of alchemy.
Okay.
The Last Alchemist.
The Last Alchemist.
This one blends crafting and exploration and puzzle solving
Okay.
in a way that's both charming and challenging.
So what makes this more than just your average potion brewing simulator?
Well, the alchemy system itself is incredibly well developed.
Okay.
It's not just tossing random ingredients into a cauldron.
Right.
You have to grind ingredients into essences,
Yeah.
analyze their properties, and then combine them in specific ways to create new compounds.
So there's like a logic to it.
Yeah, there's a real sense of logic and discovery to it.
It sounds almost meditative.
It is. The game has a very specific pace and atmosphere to it.
Okay.
You explore this beautiful hand-drawn world.
Nice.
You gather ingredients, and you help out these charming mushroom-like inhabitants called the Agari.
Wait, mushroom people.
Come here.
More.
Well, they're not just there for decoration.
Okay.
Each one you encounter has their own story, their own struggles, and you use your alchemical skills to help them overcome these challenges.
So it's not just solving puzzles just to solve them. You're actually like making a difference in this world.
Exactly. And, even though it has this whimsical exterior, The Last Alchemist isn't afraid to tackle some pretty profound themes as well.
Oh, really? Like what?
Loss, grief, the fleeting nature of life.
Wow, mushroom people and existentialism. Who knew?
It's a surprisingly poignant combination.
It really is.
And it speaks to the game's ability to draw you in, to make you care about these characters.
Right.
A lot of reviewers even mentioned wishing there was more content.
That's always a good sign.
It is a good sign.
All right, after that deep dive into alchemy, I think we need an adrenaline rush.
Okay, I'm with you.
Let's switch gears literally this time with Kart Racing Pro.
Oh yeah, Kart Racing Pro. I've heard good things.
This one's for those who crave speed but maybe want to avoid the real-life dangers of motorsport.
From what I've gathered, this is one for the serious sim racing enthusiast.
Okay, how so?
Reviewers are praising its ultra-realistic physics engine.
Okay.
And the immersive VR support is supposed to be incredible.
So you can feel the G-forces and everything?
You really can. Kart Racing Pro simulates everything.
Wow.
Tire wear, track temperature, chassis setup, aerodynamics.
So it's not just about going fast.
No.
It's about understanding how everything works.
Exactly. You need to understand how every little adjustment affects your kart handling and performance.
That sounds like a steep learning curve.
It is. But for those who are willing to put in the time, Kart Racing Pro offers a level of realism and immersion that's unmatched.
Really?
You're not just racing, you're inhabiting the role of a professional driver.
You're really in it.
You're in it.
That's so cool. One detail I loved was the push-to-start feature for the KZ1 kart.
Oh, yeah.
You have to actually mimic pushing the cart to get it started.
I love those little touches.
Me too. It's the attention to detail.
It speaks to the developer's dedication to authenticity.
Right.
They want to recreate the entire sensory experience of karting.
I love that. So is there AI for this one, or is it all multiplayer?
So that is one potential downside.
Okay.
It's primarily a multiplayer experience.
Okay, so no battling it out against the computer?
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah.
It's you against other players online.
Okay.
Or you can race against your own ghost times.
So some people might see that as a deal breaker.
Yeah, it depends what you're looking for.
Right? Some people love competition. Some people like to take it at their own pace.
Exactly. But if you do enjoy the multiplayer aspect, Kart Racing Pro has a great community.
Okay.
And they have new tracks, karts, and challenges being added all the time.
And a modding community.
Oh, yeah, very active modding community.
That's always a plus. Okay, speaking of community, let's talk about our final game for this deep dive. Nope, nurses.
Nope, nurses.
Okay.
This one is for our more, let's say, strong-stomached listeners.
All right, I'm intrigued.
This is the third in a visual novel series from a developer known for pushing boundaries.
I see.
And this installment dives headfirst into dark humor, psychological thriller, and some seriously out there situation.
They're how?
Okay, so nope, nurses.
Puts us back in the shoes of Yamato, our hapless protagonist from the previous games.
Right.
And he is stuck in a hospital run by a rather unconventional staff.
Unconventional? How so?
Well, these nurses aren't exactly focused on bedside manner.
I see.
They're more interested in pursuing their own agendas.
Okay.
And those agendas often involve elaborate schemes, shady dealings, and a whole lot of dark humor.
So Yamada's caught in the middle of all this.
Exactly. He's like a pawn in their games.
Oh, no.
And let's just say his well-being isn't their top priority.
How's intense?
It's basically a darkly comedic thriller set in a hospital that's anything but sterile.
So they're really playing up the psychological thriller aspect this time around.
Oh, yeah. Reviewers talked about being on the edge of their seats, never knowing what to expect next.
Yeah.
1 minute it's slapstick comedy, the next you're unraveling a crazy conspiracy.
And nurses themselves are a big part of what makes this series so interesting, right?
They're the stars of the show. Each one has such a distinct personality.
And how's the voice acting?
It's all in Japanese and it's really well done.
Nice.
And they are not afraid to push the boundaries.
I've heard head nurse Tendo makes quite the impression.
Oh, yeah. The one reviewers described as a ruthless tyrant.
That's the one.
Yeah.
What's she like in the game?
Imagine someone who commands absolute authority over the hospital.
Okay.
Everyone's terrified of her, even the doctors.
Wow. And she's in charge of this whole chaotic situation.
It's wild, but there's also this darkly comedic undertone to it all.
I can see that.
Like, Reviewers mentioned this one scene with head nurse Tendo and the hospital director.
Right.
It's so absurd. It's like laugh out loud funny, but also kind of disturbing.
That's that blend of humor and suspense that this developer is known for.
Right. It's definitely not for everyone.
For sure. But if you like your simulations with a little something extra,
A little bit of the strange and unexpected.
then nope. 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 Nurses is an experience you won't forget.
Absolutely. And there you have it, 5 wildly different simulation games.
Wow. What a range.
Right. We went from the melancholic streets of Neyasnoe to the high-speed world of Kart Racing Pro.
Don't forget the alchemy and the engineering.
Oh, yeah. And of course, the interesting nursing staff.
It really shows you how broad this genre can be.
It really does. It's not always about recreating reality.
Right. Sometimes it's about exploring possibilities, pushing those boundaries.
Giving players experiences that they could never have in real life.
Exactly. So next time you're looking at simulation tag, just remember,
There's a whole world of experiences waiting for you.
from the mundane to the utterly bizarre.
You might just surprise yourself with what you find.
You never know. Until next time, happy gaming.
Happy gaming, everyone.